What's happening, everybody? Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Ball Sports Network. Thank you guys for the continued support. Continue to hit the like, share, subscribe, and the notification bells. I upload videos every single day. Now it's official. Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, is the next head football coach of the Jackson State. I'm sorry for all the people that I offended when I said Jacksonville State. It's Jackson State. He's the next head coach at JSU. And it was announced today, and it's pretty much been known for a few days, but they had to work out some stuff between Jackson State being Nike and Deion Sanders having a contract with Under Armour and all that, blah blah blah. But they got it all worked out. He announces he's the head coach of Jackson State. He's got his 21st in Prime podcast through the Barstool Sports network. And yeah, Coach Prime is going to finish out his duties as the offensive coordinator at Trinity Christian this year, before he prepares for Jackson State's football season that got pushed back to the spring. Now, I kind of went over what it meant for Deion to get the Jackson State job in my last video, but I'm going to dive a little deeper because this is like super interesting. Jackson State hasn't had a winning season since 2013. They haven't had a winning season since 2013. Their last coach, John Hendrick, went 6-9. 6-9 overall and 5-5 in the SWAC, the SWAC conferences, which they're in, the FCS conference. But here's where Prime comes in, and here's where Prime can make a huge difference. And I kind of touched on this last time, but it's the recruiting aspect, and here's why. One, he has connections to the Texas high school system. He's been in the Texas high school football system and a program for years now. So he knows some of the top-ranked recruits. He's been involved in games like the Under Armour All-American game. He's been involved with a lot of the development of high school football players in the state of Texas. Prime is also from Florida. So think about some of those high-level 3-star, maybe even a 4-star, probably not a 5, but maybe even a 4-star, those high-level 3-stars that could end up flipping from going to, I don't know, a school in Texas, maybe a TCU, or just being a backup at a University of Texas or whatever, or Baylor, and maybe they could come play at Jackson State. And think about the state of Mississippi. There's no real power. Like, there's schools, Mississippi State and Ole Miss are in the SEC. So obviously kids from that state want to go play in the SEC at that level. But they're not powerhouses. They're not teams that just blow you out of the water or just jump off the screen when you think of their school or their university. So why couldn't you convince a kid from going to play for Lane Kiffin or Leach, instead come play for Coach Prime, come play for Deion Sanders, and come play for an HBCU that has put guys in the NFL. Now, they haven't had a first-round pick since 2000, right? But they do have some notable alumni, most notable being Walter Payton. To some people, the greatest football player to ever play, the greatest running back to ever touch the NFL, Walter Payton, Super Bowl champion, Hall of Famer. So there is some history behind Jackson State. There is some history on their side. Not to mention, they have the ultimate pitch, Mr. Prime. Deion Sanders knows what it takes to be a great college player. He knows what it takes to get to the NFL. And he knows what it takes to get at the highest level in the NFL, to perform at the highest level in the NFL. Now, granted, kids that go to Jackson State, they're not going to be Deion Sanders. The chances of them being Deion Sanders are slim to none. But to get them to come together, to come together during this great awakening for black people, to come play for an HBCU and to come play at a high level. And then the thing is, why do kids go to Alabamas and the Clemsons and stuff like that? It's not even really to win championships. It's not even really to Ohio State. It's not even to win college championships. It's to get to the NFL. They believe that going to Ohio State, and it has been proven to a certain extent, that if you go to Ohio State, if you go to Clemson, if you go to, Oklahoma or Alabama or Auburn or whatever, then your chances of getting to the NFL are a lot higher. LSU or whatever, because they're sending the kids to the league. But if you come play for Coach Prime at an HBCU and you have great success, teams, scouts, everything are going to flock to Jackson State because of Deion Sanders. And if you come and you put up a great performance, there's a chance you could go to the NFL. If you're good enough, they're going to find you. And especially when you have the spotlight, that is Deion Sanders. So I'm proud of Coach Prime. I'm proud of Jackson State, and I hope they're successful, man. I hope they really can become successful. They can go out and recruit and compete with some of the the best teams in the SWAC conference and win a bunch of games and send guys to the league and draw that attention and send those kids to HBCUs, because it won't only be beneficial to Jackson State, it'll be beneficial to every HBCU. It'll be beneficial to Grambling, to Southern, to all the HBCUs, especially in the South, if Deion Sanders is able to have some success. Let me know your thoughts on Coach Prime being the next head coach of Jackson State, the Jackson State Tigers. Once again, my name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. Thank you guys for listening. I'll see you next time.